Hello, hello. It's Tuesday, 7:15 here in Ireland. A very dark day today.
True.
Yeah, when I woke up 7 o'clock in the morning today, I had to look twice in the clock to see if it was the right time because it was too dark. But anyway, it is. It is what it is. It is what we have for today. Hope you're okay, guys. Hope you're good. Hope this finds you well, family well. So, Leah, my dear, yeah, you know what I mean. So your day is probably darker than our here. But anyway, so hey Don, how are you, my friend? Hope you're okay over there as well. So keep going on our study here today. We will start a new chapter, chapter 14. And the title of the chapter is Honor Your Father, Your Mother. So we will start to talk about it today. So before we, 6 Fahrenheit. Okay, Wanderley, we are in heaven here. Okay, no worries. No worries. 6 Fahrenheit. It's about minus 14 Celsius.
Ooh. No, it's too much. That's too little. I don't know.
We're in heaven. Cold. We're in summer. I think I go to the beach today. After finish here, after this, from dawn. So, before we start, let's do our initial prayer.
Steve, I do that because in the end I might have to go.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, guys. Let's take a deep breath. First, we'd like to thank God for the lives we have. And also, we'd like to ask wisdom and guidance for the studies tonight. We hope that the good spirits may open up our hearts and our minds in order to understand this very important topic we are about to talk. And also, let's be very thankful for our parents. Doesn't matter who they are or what they have done or what they not have done to us. Let's remember that despite of their way of being, despite of their defects, they gave life to us. So let's be thankful that we are alive and have a chance to change something because of them. Thank God, and so be it.
Good. We got something here. Okay, so if you want to kick off, Wanderley.
Okay, guys. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 14, as Stevan said, Honor your father and your mother. And in this chapter here, why Kardec has brought this to the basics of Spiritism. As we know, the Gospel according to Spiritism, the spirits with Kardec, they decided to bring some topics from the Bible itself, where for some, they might not make so much sense, or perhaps the spirits, they believed that some parts needed an extra explanation. And that's quite clear, why we believe that the spirits brought this to us. Because here, there are some parts, where Jesus had said, among people in the time that he was living, who is my father, now who is my mother, and who is my brothers and sisters. So who is my family? and this was quite misunderstood by the time. But before that, we have here also Matthew, and we have in the Exodus, where in the Mosaic law they always saw this importance of trying to honor father and mother, try to give importance for those who brought life to us. But here, as we said, it's quite something strange, because we have in the Old Testament that we should honor our father and our mother, and Jesus said that also. But then later on, he said something which for some was quite strange, because he always spoke about love and charity and tried to give love to everyone. So it means probably for his mother and brothers, he would have even more love, if we can put in this way. So maybe what he said was maybe misinterpreted. That's why I believe Kardec brought that to the cern of this book, and explaining also to us that filial devotion is something very, very important. Because as it says here, how can we say we should love our enemies, we should love our fellow beings, if you have issues with our parents? And again, they are the ones who give life to us despite of their mistakes. So how come can we love the other, the outside, if we cannot love the inside? That's some very important topic here to us to understand. So Kardec brings this to us and the spirits for us to reflect that maybe a few things here were misunderstood. And that's why we're going to study tonight, to try to comprehend a little bit more about what Jesus trying to say. What do you think, Stevan?
Yeah, it's important this because we can see in some translations problems of interpretation. Sometimes they write, I don't know in which translation, but say, oh, uh, you hate more your father and your mom than it's no. This topic here, which is filial devotion, is kind of, it's not the rules, but it is an advice. How should we treat our father and mother? We cannot say like I love my wife or you love your husband without loving your father and loving your mom. Okay, but that's the reason why we need to understand that this filial devotion is the obligation we have towards our parents. I know uh, we don't live in a calm sea. Always we have troubles, especially among family. But the same love our parents gave to us when we are young, when we are babies, it's it's not a time for payback. I don't like to say it's a payback, because when you take care of something with love, you're not charging for it. You're not using an exchange. Oh, I will take care of this guy now because in the future he will take care of me. No, I don't want to. I don't like to go in this part here. But I would say I prefer to say it's easy to love your parents than someone else. It's easy to love like your brother and your sister and your parents than you love someone else. Again, many of us we do have problems with these main characters where I said here. Most of our problems are with them, but we share respect, we share love with them. Like it's like I can fight with my mom, but I kill those who gonna fight with my mom. You know, so we need to respect this, and we need to understand how it works. Everyone has your own type. Like for example, Wanderley and I, we are far away from our mom. No, so we have ways to do it. We need to live with these differences now. That's my first initial thoughts on the way.
Thanks, Steven. But also, we have to bring here into the picture something which unfortunately is quite common. We have parents who have their children. Let's say we have a man who only had sex with a woman. He generated a life, then he goes away for an entire life, or he never helped that woman. And maybe that woman, in some case, left the baby, in an orphanage. So then, how can we have some gratitude for those? The guy, let's say, he made me and he ran away, and then once she had me, she left me to someone else. But at the same time, once we understand the law of reincarnation, and once we understand that we are in the place that we must be to our spiritual growing, to our evolution, we will understand that if we were in such situation, perhaps there was a reason for that. We are not here to judge anyone who was left by their parents. Please don't get me wrong. But what we are trying to say is like this: if God is just and good, then that children to be in that situation, probably there was a reason. I don't know the reason. We are not here to try and find reasons for those orphan kids. No, don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is like this: that even for such couples, for such parents, even if they had only one night stand, they only made you there, and then after they didn't care about you at all, they still gave you life. There is a movie called Allow Me to Live. It's based on a spiritual book by it was psychographed, and this book is about abortion. We are not here to say what's good and what's bad. We're not going to go into this realm, but in this book it gives to us an idea how hard it is to a spirit to reincarnate, how difficult it is. So some spirits there in their spiritual world for such a long time that for them even to be born in a family where there will be, let's say, no love or no care, or where they're going to be left in an orphanage, for that spirits, that's something amazing, because they're in a such bad situation in the spiritual world that for them to have this opportunity to live, to have a chance to survive, to have a chance to do something meaningful in their life, it's a lot. So what I'm trying to say is like this: yes, I understand there are parents who don't really deserve to have kids. Don't get me wrong. I know that. I have my personal stories. But what I'm trying to say is like this: even those parents, they deserve it to us. If we cannot love them back, because I understand it's hard to love a parent in that situation, at least uh, some respect and some kindness to understand that perhaps they only did that because they couldn't know how to do any better in the time they were, that baby was generated, you know. So some parents, some people, they have no um, moral, they have no psychological capacity to have a child. But even though, because sex is something that it's something humane, so whoever does practice sex, then they can have the risk of having a baby. So if that baby is there, it's not because God wanted to put that baby in a difficult situation, or because that parents perhaps they wanted. Perhaps they didn't know how to do it. So once a couple they have sex, that's a risk. But that what we call risk, it's a life. So some spirits, guys, as we said, they're very thankful to being born, even in tough situations like this. That's why, even in this case, as it says here, we have to try to understand their our parents. We have to try to help them as much as we can. And if we cannot love them, as we said, let's at least give to them our gratitude because they gave to us life. And life, guys, according to the Spiritist teachings, it's something very, very powerful. So powerful, you know? And that's why once we say, oh, I love the world, I want to change the world, I want to help everyone in the streets, I want to help people in poor places or whatever. But let's say you want to do this, but you don't want to get along with those one who brought you life. You know what I mean? Also, there's a very beautiful scene in that movie, in the book also, The Shack, where a man, the main character of the movie, he sees his father in the end, and his father wasn't someone really nice, but then he understood why his father wasn't that way, why his father abused him so much. So sometimes these parents who perhaps weren't really nice with a child, as we said, they didn't know any better. They had no capacity at all. But again, I'm repeating myself, but I have to. At least they gave something called life to us. And for that, guys, if you are here alive, doesn't matter who is your parents, what they have done to you, what have you suffered. At least you have the chance to do something different right now with your life, despite of your past, despite of what your parents they did to you. That's what I believe Kardec is trying to, the spirits are trying to bring to us here, the importance and the value of life. What do you think, Stevan?
I think you are right, but I just want to add something. In situation you were like adopted, in situation you had some problems with your biological mom and dad, and for some reason you feel affection for your auntie or a neighbor or someone who raised you. Perhaps sometimes is grandparents. They assume that the role of parents. Uh, is this love we're talking about here? It's not the love to only to your biological mom and dad. If for some reason you were raised by someone who gave love to you, even though didn't give life to you, but they gave love, they gave attention, they gave affection, they gave uh, 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 um, they set the rules in your mind. You know what's right, what's wrong, what. So and you feel love towards that person is the same thing here. Okay, it is the same thing here. This is what we're talking about. That love, which is for us one way to express our, no, it's not gratitude, but our reciprocal love. And at the same time, uh, like for example, I can give you an example. My wife, she was working in a house, and we were chatting with the couple, and the man, the head of family, they said, no, we said, Chris was pregnant of my first child, and he said, oh, now we were not alone, no, we were all this conversation, no. And then he said, oh, but you have your daughter, um, she look after to you. And he said, no, my daughter will not look after me. She has her life. When she marries, she will have her family. She need to take care of her family. My job here is support her in whatever she needs. It's not the other way around. He's right, he's wrong. I would say at the time I said, "Oh, he's so wrong." But now, with my understanding, I prefer to say he's in the fence, you know, because we don't know. Perhaps this guy in the future he will have a terminal disease and he will need someone to take care of him, you know. So it's all about it's all about giving good unconditionally to anybody without expecting any payback. When we do this, things will happen. I know mom and dad always do the best they can, because unfortunately children don't born with instruction with instructions. You have to feed at this time, you need to do this. If you're sick, you press that button. If you do, they don't come with instructions. So we mostly, I can say now, as a parent experience, it's it's a kind of right and wrong game. You try to do something, oh, it's working, yeah, oh, great. And then when you do that thing and it's working, come up a psychologist, something, oh, you cannot do that. And then when you do something, it's going wrong, you don't know what to do. So it's a game, guys. It is a game in which we try to do our best. And this love is unconditionally. Okay.
Steven, just going back to what we were saying, we have here that in the still in the item, I think still in item 3, but in the end, when it says it's true that some powers neglect their duty and are not all they should be to their children. However, it's only God that has the competence to judge and not the children. So, as we were saying here, guys, so for whatever reason, for whatever thing they did to us, we should not judge, but only God will judge. Otherwise, we go into the same level. So they did something bad against me. Now it's my turn to don't care about them, or to don't do anything to help them. So it may perhaps for us to think that we should not become here the judges of them, especially of our parents. But keep going here, guys, on item 5. That's a very controversial
Yeah,
topic.
just 1 second, Wanderley. There is something here in the same paragraph you read. There's Saint Kardec saying here, the law of charity demands that evil is paid with goodness, and that we be indulgent with the imperfection of others. So, what Kardec is saying here, love, it is charity as well. Charity in which way? You help, you love, you have some feelings without any interest, without any expectation. Okay. Okay, go ahead, run the book chapter item
Yeah.
5 now.
So item 5 here, we have a part which a lot of scholars they use that against Jesus and the and the work, the Bible itself. Because here it says that when Jesus was there, and they came, his mother and his brothers went to look for him. So when we say Jesus' brothers, we have to understand here that perhaps historically speaking, we don't know if he had brothers which were sons of Joseph and Mary also, but according to the Jewish traditions, brothers could be also cousins. So his family was something a bit larger than what we would consider nowadays. So at the time of Jesus, a cousin could be considered as a brother. Okay, so that's why here in Mark they say that Jesus was there, he was preaching, he was giving bread to the poor people, and then someone asked him to someone asked someone to go there and call Jesus, and said to him, your brothers and your mother is looking for you. And Jesus said, who is my brother, who is my mom? So some people, when they read that, they believed that Jesus was diminishing them. So perhaps we have to understand that a man who his teachings is based on love and charity, and also that he always asks us to forgive, like Stevan said, to have devotion for the others. Perhaps he could not have said these words in this way, because if he was first saying that we should honor your father and your mother, how he would say that in front of people to perhaps humiliate his mother? Or perhaps, like the spirits they say here, or Jesus never said these words, or it was misunderstood, or perhaps it was some problem with translations. But what we can say is this: if his entire work always he talks about respecting, about devotion, how come he would go and say that? And also here we understand that as he says here in the gospel, that everyone who does God's will, who follow the teachings of God, are my sisters and my brothers and my mom. So in the entire humanity not belongs, but is part of Jesus. It's his entire family. So he's breaking up the family ties here. But again, as a Jewish man at that time, he would have never said that, because it would be something quite harmful to his mother and quite disrespectful. But at the same time, the spirits they say here that regarding to his brothers, what we can say probably were his cousins. They were spirits of low evolution, and none of them followed him as his disciples. And as it says here in John 7:5, they didn't believe in the works of Jesus because they thought he was a bit eccentric, we can put in this way. And also here it says that Maria, his mother also, Mary, his mother also, didn't understand his work while he was alive, at least, because we know that in the Acts of the Apostles, that after Jesus passed away in the cross, that he was helping the evangelist, Paul of Tarsus, Peter. So then she understood. But the point which I'm trying to say here is this: we have a part in the Bible which perhaps doesn't make sense, because maybe there were some problems with translations, and that's why the spirits are explaining that to us, that what is written there probably is not what he said in fact, because he was preaching love and devotion, basically.
Yeah, it's valid because we don't we don't know. Like for example, if I say who you love more, if you ask to a mom, okay, who you love the most, your husband or your son? I think 90% of the answers the moms will say my son. Okay, but let's assume that everybody died, mom, dad, and son. And in the spiritual world, they will reincarnate again, but at this time the son will be the husband and the husband will be the son. And then you come to this mom again and say who you love most. So what I'm saying here, we are all connected. We are all in the same, let's say, in the same boat. That's why we need to love our brothers as our sisters, our neighbor, everybody, because we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we don't know what's the mission. Oh, but my parents were abusive to me. Well, don't forget that you have made your choice before you reincarnate. Oh, my brothers and my sisters, they do not understand me. They, of course, they, okay, no problem. Even Jesus' brothers and sisters didn't understood him, didn't understand him. You don't see, like in the text here, any Jesus brother or sister as his disciple, because it should be normal. Like I will call my brother and my sister because they're close to me. In any moment we see they mention that is just something in Matthew's. I don't recall. I think it's in Matthew, in John 7:5. They mention something about the brothers and sisters, Jesus' brothers and sisters. But we need to to see beyond that. We need to understand that it's my choice. It's the sufferings, the trials, it's our choice. It's not a punishment, it's not a vengeance. No, it is our choice. I don't know, perhaps you're born in a family in which you are considered the black sheep of the family. But in your mind, you are so right, doing things as it should be. And you may need to teach a lesson to the family. Or you are really a black sheep and you need to live in a family who set rules, who make you more under control. Because you said, "Oh, I need to go to a family. This family is very is very sharp, very hard on me. I need this." Perhaps you decided. What do you think, Wanderley?
No, I think you're correct. So if you are here with such family, we know that there are reasons for that. We see that quite clear in the book Renunciation, where the spirit of Alcyone, she comes to reincarnate among spirits which were her family in the past, but they were very low evolution, as the spirits they describe here. But she came to try to support them, but again, not as a family anymore, but as a spirits, as immortal spirits. That's why we have here corporeal relationship and spiritual relationship. And the first thing the spirit says is on item 8, blood ties do not necessarily create bonds between spirits. So we see this case in Alcyone. So there are spirits which reincarnated long time ago, but she had a kind of some kindness for them, but she didn't have to reincarnate among those people anymore, but she had some love and she wants them for them to improve, and she tries to support them. But in this case here, we are seeing what Stevan said to us. You are born in a spirit in a family which perhaps is the first time, it's not like Alcyone, is the first time which that spirits they are connected as a family. Of course, maybe some brothers and sisters now they live in the same family, but before they lived maybe as friends, or maybe they were part of some war, they were in the army, or they were doing something together, but they weren't a family, a proper family. So we have to understand that this family tie that we understand nowadays is not something which is really, we should not consider that everyone who is in our family is connected with us in the past as a family and in a good way. Okay, So sometimes we are just born in a family because we need, let's say we are in a born in a family, just to make easy, 5 brothers, 5 sisters, but between those 10, maybe 2 or 3 they were family before, but between these 2 or 3, maybe because they are a bit more evolved, so in the spiritual world they were asked to support the other 7 spirits to be born in the same family in order to support those sevens, or even their parents. Or the opposite way happens. You have to say
Hmm.
you have a couple, they have, like before in the past, 10 kids. I'm just using number 10 to be easy here. And all of those 10, they never saw each other, they never lived it with each other as a family before. Maybe they were enemies, maybe they were in wars, they were in difficult situations, doesn't matter. But those couple, they come to do what? To unite that spirits, to try to bring to them reconciliation, understanding, and perhaps some loving. So that's why, whatever family you are now, there is no coincidence that you are born with such a sister or brother or such parents. If they are there with you, doesn't matter if you like them or not, if they have done anything bad against you, or if you disagree with them, there is a reason. And in Spiritism, Jesus said once, try to reconcile with your adversary while you are walking with them, while you are on the way with them. So perhaps that brother, that parent, was an enemy before, and it was given a chance to be born the same life for what? To try to reconcile. Otherwise, these reincarnations will be repeating over and over and over and over again. And André Luiz says something quite nice, I think is in Ossular or in the Messengers, I don't remember, where he says that when you see a happy family or a happy couple, do not mistaken, do not think that spirits, they are just born together at one for the first time all together. No, these are spirits who were born before so many times. They had fights. In some cases, they killed each other. They did so much damage to them. But reincarnation after reincarnation, not as a family, maybe they were born, they were together before, but as friends or enemies, but they were having relationships, they were trying to improve. And once you see this happy family nowadays, it's because of these ties. So these ties, as it says here, it's not something material, it's a spiritual tie, which is different. What do you think, Stevan?
I think we need to fix the plane while it's flying.
Yeah.
You know, and an example you said, André Luiz, and just come up to my mind in the book Nosso Lar. Uh, the last chapters, André Luiz's mom decided to reincarnate. She doesn't need to reincarnate anymore,
Anymore, yeah.
but she decided to reincarnate. And why? Because her André Luiz's father had two
Mistress.
mistress, and these two mistresses were persecuting him in a very hate each other relationship. And she decided to reincarnate, marry with him again, and those two mistresses will be their daughters.
Yeah.
It's in the book Neo No Solar. It is there. Do you imagine how was this family? Because was like in 1960 something,
No, even before.
or 50 something, yeah.
Now
But
30 something.
yeah,
Very easy is before.
I
Yeah.
suppose they
Ah,
already returned
yeah.
to the
Oh,
spiritual
yeah.
world. But can you imagine how was this this family with two daughters being a mistress of the dad in a previous life? But it's all connected. We are all connected. I'm not saying this because I don't. This is not a kind of relieving the weight from your shoulders. No, I'm just saying this since we don't remember what we have choose as our mission here on earth. If you face problems, my friend, courage, courage. If you face problem, hang on. If you face problem, be still, have courage, move on. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is what I think is missing, because it's 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 so easy to block someone and say, instead of you okay, let's call this person, let's have a conversation with them, let's try to understand why you hate me, why I hate you, let's try to have a nice conversation. If you still disagree, okay, everyone move on their path. But the problem is, we we always want to be the judge. We always want to say I am right and all the others are wrong, and the other one say, oh, I'm right, all the others are wrong. When we live in this sense, the chaos, it's the consequence. Chaos, it is how it works. So let's review our values. Let's review what we need to do. What's the reasons why your father or your mom was too bad for you? I'm not trying to say what they did is an excuse. No. What is wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Whatever there. Okay? But if you are in a position, you are abused, you suffer bullying you from your parents, it's time to forgive. It's time to break this cycle. Because if you do not forgive, you will you will become you will come again. And this it's as I said, as a cycle. Let's put a stop in this cycle. I'm not saying you are suffering because you did something. No, because we are so free of choice when we are in the spiritual world. It's not because I harm him and he harm me, we will connect. No, it's more like what I need to work. I saw in this life, I tried to work this feeling, these skills in myself, but I didn't get it. So I need more, be more prepared. So instead of working this, I work that. So it's so free of choice, my friends. It's so free of preconceptions, and we try to complicate everything. If you suffer again, believe me, the person who is doing bad for you is suffering as well. Is suffering, perhaps they didn't have any other experience. They are just giving what they learned. Or they are just acting as a judge and say, I'm right, what I'm doing is correct. So many ways. But the point now, I'm not saying this forgiveness. Oh, I will forgive because I saw in the life today and I forgive her. No, this is a process as well. Perhaps you will not finish this life with a full forgiveness, but at least trigger the process. This is what I'm asking to you. At least accept to understand the other person position. Accept to understand the chance to figure out what happened when the wheels fall off the train. This is what you need to do. We need to start the process. Again, because forgiveness is a process. Forgiveness is not to forget. Forgiveness is remember what happened, but do not carry the same bad feelings you have when you remember those episodes. The true forgiveness is this, and this true forgiveness take time, but someone needs to give the first step to break this cycle. And what I'm asking you now is be this first one. Be this first one to start this process. Don't wait for the others starting the process. And while the other don't start the process, you keeping uh, 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 spinning wheels. Let's stop it, guys. Spinning wheels. Let's be more wise, intelligence. We have these spiritism teachings here who is giving us a wonderful lessons, wonderful experiences. For what? To allow us to stop spinning our wheels and move forward. Oh, but I don't want to be the. Put your pride aside. Oh, but I was the victim. I believe you maybe was the victim, and everything what happened to you, it wasn't fair. Okay, I do believe. I'm not saying you are wrong, but I'm saying about the with a vision in your future. Do you want to still keep living these sufferings for another life because perhaps you both decided to come together or not gonna come together, but at the end you needed to respect each other. You love that person. Those you hate now, someday, I don't know when, 1 year, 10 years, 1 zillion years, I don't know. You will say, I love you. Why do not start this process now? Why do not have a deep breath and unlock this and try to soften these feelings? This is the process. I think that's today's message. We need to love our parents, yes, because everything they have done to us. We need to love our brother, yes, because they are close to us. It's easy to love a brother than love someone. But in the family, it is there are more potential to have problems, to have this hate, this jealousy, this pride. What I'm saying to you now is let's stop and let's break this process. Let's evolve. How? Try. Try to understand the other position. Try to start the loving process. Try to start the forgiving process. Everything needs to start. Or you, or then you do. And I'm saying this today is be you who will start this process. Someday you will see how this helped you in your evolution path. Okie dokie. Do you guys have any questions? Because looks like we finished item 7 of the chapter set 14, and next week we will go to item number 8 of this chapter 14. Let me know if you have any questions or if we can wrap up for today. I hope this was clear. I know you were kind of repetitive here, but it is something we need to repeat to ourselves every single day in order to create a kind of mantra. We need to create a kind of mantra in order to 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 fix this in our mind and say, hey, we need to love, we need to love, I need to love, I need to love, I need to love, I need to love. Oh, but they don't love me. Don't worry. They will. They will love you. I'm pretty sure. I guarantee they will love you. I only cannot tell you when, but they will love you. Linda, my dear, good to have you here. She's saying, I agree. We need to move forward. We need to stop spinning our wheels. That's my main objective here in this incarnation is move forward. No, I want to stop doing this over and over and over and over and over again. It looks like that, that movies when the guy, they have a day, they sleep, and when they wake up, they are in the same day, so they doing same thing, different things, and until they learn how to love. And when they learn to love, they learn to forgive, they learn to work his or her issues. When she wake up, life is normal. That's it. This is what I want to me. This is what I want for you as well, guys. I think I like this example of this movie. I'm pretty sure you have seen this type of movies. It is what we have to do, my friends. We are living this movie, and I want to move away from this. And I hope you too. I hope you too. Okay? So, we have no questions. So let me doing the final prayer. Okay? So I want to say thank you for the spiritual friends, for the inspirations, for the help in order to conduct this conversation of today. May these good vibrations reach all brothers and sisters who is watching this live or will watch this live in the future. May this light cover the hospitals, cover those friends who are feeling anxiety, depression, thinking about suicide. May this prayer reach them and somehow give some consolation and hope in their hearts. May we have a wonderful week ahead of us with problems, with challenges, but with the certainty that we will move on. So be it. Amen. Okay, my friends. Thank you very much. I wish you all a blessed end of day for you guys, especially those who are in America. For myself and Leah, we are almost near to the dinner time. So I wish you all a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with the spiritual light. And it's don't forget at 8:30 today we do have our virtual healing. So 8:30 on YouTube. We don't need to do anything. You just need to go to our YouTube 8:30. It's 15 minutes. It's a healing, and this for sure will help you, especially if you are in that process to stop with this hating thing and start to change this mindset. This is going to help you a lot, not a little, a lot. Okay? Wonderful, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Patrocinio. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Cassia. Aida. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Bye bye.